Can one scene save a whole movie? Who knows, but these deleted DCEU scenes never deserve to end up on the cutting room floor. As you're probably aware, Man of Steel tells the origin story of Henry Cavill's Superman, including a new take on the destruction of Krypton, Clark Kent getting his job at the Daily Planet, and whatever the heck this was all about. Originally, though, the movie was supposed to explore even more of Superman's childhood. One flashback, for example, would have seen the Kents take an infant Clark to the pediatrician. It all ends in disaster, though, as the baby's heightened senses cause chaos in the office. Like the scene in which Clark struggles with his X-ray vision at school, this cut sequence would have illustrated the perils he faced masking as a conventional Earthling. Per Man of Steel screenwriter David S. Goyer, this scene was filmed but ended up cut before the movie hit theaters. It was a close call, though. Clark's visit to the doctor stuck for so long that it still appeared in the tie-in's children's book, Man of Steel, Superman's Superpowers. The death of General Zod was by far the most controversial moment in Man of Steel. According to David S. Goyer, though, this brutal moment might have worked better had one cutscene made it to the screen. This flashback saw Jonathan Kent and Clark go on a hunting trip, ending with Clark being forced to kill a deer. Understandably, the young Kryptonian is left pretty shaken over this, which prompts Jonathan to explain to his son the weight of taking a life, even when it's deemed necessary. Yet, despite its thematic importance to the film as a whole, this scene was never actually shot. We'll never know if it might have softened the backlash against the film's finale, of course, but it certainly would have made Superman's decision feel a little less out of the blue. Jared Leto's take on the Joker was a focal point of the marketing campaign for Suicide Squad.
I'm just gonna hurt you. Really, really bad.
And why not? This was the first time the Joker would be appearing on the big screen since The Dark Knight, so you can hardly blame DC for wanting to get people excited. Yet in the theatrical cut of Suicide Squad, Leto's Joker has a minimized role that reeks of last-minute cuts. And sure enough, it later turned out that a lot of Joker stuff got axed, including a scene that would have provided a better resolution to Harley Quinn's character arc. In this scene, a badly burned Joker would have surprised Harley and the rest of the Suicide Squad just before they confront the Enchantress. Joker offers Quinn a place by his side as a powerful crime boss, but she refuses, throwing her lot in with her new friends instead. Despite giving the Joker a better ending and Harley Quinn some much-needed agency, this scene was never even filmed, which just about sums up the whole problem with Suicide Squad. Many key scenes and characters in Suicide Squad became punchlines after the movie's release.
I would advise not getting killed by her. Her sword traps the souls of its victims.
This is also true of Slipknot, a character defined by his ability to climb anything he wants. Slipknot is unceremoniously killed early on in Suicide Squad as a way of demonstrating Task Force X's explosive head implants, after which he's promptly forgotten by the movie and everyone in it. Originally, though, Slipknot got a little more screen time. Soon after the release of Suicide Squad, writer-director David Ayer revealed that he shot a flashback scene detailing Slipknot's backstory. Much like the ones given to the other principal characters, this would have made his death at least a little more effective, as audiences would have assumed that he was going to be around for the long haul. Ayer apparently cut the scene both for pacing reasons and because he didn't want to waste time on a character who was about to bite the dust, which, frankly, kind of feels like it's missing the whole point of a Suicide Squad story. Aquaman is easily one of the DCEU's better movies, providing a thrilling and heartwarming origin story for one of the franchise's most iconic characters. And while the movie does a great job with Arthur's story, it was originally supposed to include one more scene set during his childhood. Aquaman director James Wan has revealed that they filmed a sequence in which a young Arthur learns how to breathe underwater for the first time. Wan explained that the sequence began to feel unnecessary once the film came together in the editing room, and he apparently worried about over-relying on flashbacks. Sadly, he didn't provide any more information about how the scene played out, and his hopes that it would one day be released as a DVD extra were never fulfilled. So this one may be fated to remain in the depths of Davy Jones's locker. In the Suicide Squad, Rick Flag Jr. leads a team of villains on a mission that was specifically designed to get them all killed, allowing the real heroes to enter the island of Corto Maltese undetected. Flag is later shown to have survived this mission, prompting him to join up with the rest of the squad to track down Starro and to liberate the island. In the final cut of the movie, his role as leader of the first team isn't really explained. We just accept that he's another nobody that Amanda Waller uses to her advantage. Initially though, James Gunn cooked up a scene that explains why Waller decided to give Flag his death sentence. Taking place later on in the movie, the scene has Flag offer up a theory about why Waller would mark him for death, and it's exactly as petty as you'd hope.
It's on your shirt, Waller. It looks like a gang of clowns just it all over you.
It's a fun gag, one that definitely illustrates Waller's worst qualities. Sadly though, that scene never quite made it to the big screen. You've probably seen the post-credit scene in the theatrical release of Black Adam.
Black Adam. We should talk.
As if that wasn't enough to change the hierarchy of power in the DC universe, there was originally supposed to be a second post-credit scene, one that would tease the return of another DC Comics character. Pierce Brosnan's Dr. Fate was one of the better aspects in Black Adam, which made his sacrifice during the movie's finale all the more disappointing. In his deleted post-credit scene, however, a hidden figure would be seen picking up Dr. Fate's helmet. Whether this was supposed to be Pierce Brosnan's character or another human being taking up the character's mantle is unclear. No reason has been given for why this sequence was cut either, or if it was ever even filmed. We can probably guess that it was removed to make sure that nothing overshadowed the DCEU's death rattle, that tease of a showdown between Black Adam and Superman. Concerns over undercutting the impact of the film's ending, which hinges on Dr. Fate's sacrifice, may have also played a role in its removal. In 2021, Zack Snyder was able to realize his original vision with Zack Snyder's Justice League, a movie that runs for just over 4 hours in length. That makes it all the more shocking that one pivotal aspect of the movie was still forced off the table by Warner Brothers executives. Around that time, Snyder confirmed that he had intended to end the movie with a meeting between Bruce Wayne and the Green Lantern John Stewart, played by Wayne T. Carr. This would have been the first live-action appearance of this fan-favorite Green Lantern. However, studio bosses stepped in to say that even though the scene was shot, Snyder couldn't add it to his hyped-up director's cut. Why? Because they apparently had other plans for Stewart. Snyder was so frustrated over the removal of this cameo that he almost walked away from the whole Zack Snyder's Justice League endeavor. Eventually, though, he relented. In the version that made it to Max, Wayne has an unexpected rendezvous with Martian Manhunter instead. This fulfilled Snyder's desire to conclude his Justice League cut with the most grounded Justice League member encountering a cosmic crime fighter. But it wasn't his original vision, and it meant that Stewart wouldn't get his hotly anticipated live-action debut. Don't fret too much though, Lantern fans, as James Gunn's new DCEU is set to bring the character to life in the upcoming series Lanterns. Shazam garnered a lot of praise for its fun action sequences and light-hearted spirit, but its sequel, Shazam Fury of the Gods, suffered all kinds of drama behind the scenes, and this included the removal of the initial plans for its post-credit scene. After Fury of the Gods opened, Zachary Levi confirmed that the mid-credit scene, which sees Jennifer Holland and Steve Agee recruiting Shazam to a new team of superheroes, was not the original plan.
Welcome to the Justice Society.
Yeah, awesome. Wait, what?
Levi revealed that Black Adam superheroes Hawkman and Cyclone were originally going to show up and ask Shazam to join the team. Per Levi's comments, the sequence was axed at the last minute, much to his annoyance. Fury of the Gods director David F. Sandberg has also revealed that the planned scene was canned just 3 days before it was set to be shot. Because the sequence's gas station set had already been built, Sandberg was determined to use it even without the actors from Black Adam. Producer Peter Safran then came up with the idea of using Holland and Agee as substitutes for Hawkman and Cyclone. Sandberg apparently didn't think this made much sense, but their involvement ensured that the set and props wouldn't go to waste, which is how we ended up with this. The Flash was plagued by drama from the very beginning, not least because it was filmed and released during a period of change for DC's movies. In the version that made it to movie theaters, Barry Allen returns to his original timeline after accepting that he cannot stop his mother's death, though he makes a small tweak to ensure that his father is not wrongly blamed for it. However, all the meddling means that the Bruce Wayne of his reality is now different. Instead of the Ben Affleck version, Barry is met by George Clooney's version of Bruce. As it happens, a few different endings were shot prior to this one. The first version involved Michael Keaton's version of Bruce Wayne and Sasha Calle's Supergirl, essentially reversing their deaths from earlier in the movie. When Discovery acquired Warner Brothers in 2022, the suits put in temporary charge of DC decided to add Henry Cavill's Superman and Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman to the ending, and a new version was shot featuring them alongside Supergirl and Batman. This revamped version was then scrapped after James Gunn and Peter Safran took over DC Studios, and it became clear that the old DCEU was destined for the scrap scrap heap. Gunn and Safran's plans very much did not include the old versions of these Justice League characters, prompting hasty reshoots and a new ending. Much like The Flash, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom had a bumpy ride on its way to the silver screen. As the future of the DCEU was in doubt during production, aspects of the Aquaman sequel needed constant tweaking, including plans for a Bruce Wayne cameo. It turns out that both Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck filmed scenes as their respective versions of Batman for the Lost Kingdom, although only one was going to be used. Which one the filmmakers went with was to depend on how the release schedule shaped up. James Wan told Entertainment Weekly, "The tricky thing early on was not knowing whether Aquaman would come out first or come out after The Flash, so we just had to be prepared." Even Jason Momoa admitted he had no clue which Batman was supposed to turn up in his movie. And in the end, nobody did, with no trace of either Affleck or Keaton in the film's final cut. And this turmoil around the DCEU swan song turned out to be for naught.